What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thank you for joining. I've got a contact issue in my left eye, so my wife said I look drunk, so I can't see without my contact. So I might do B-roll if it looks too crazy. This speech that Biden made yesterday, today is Friday, September 10th. This speech that Biden did yesterday is one of the most important speeches that has ever happened in the history of our country. It's that important. And I want to break it down. The first part, the most important part about the speech that Joe Biden made not against, but it was all about the certain health situation that we're in right now. He said that there's a lot that he said that needs to be talked about. The most important to me to understand that a lot of people I'm chatting with don't understand. So Biden said, we are going to protect the workers who have the magic potion from the unclean work. I'm paraphrasing, from the unclean workers that don't have the magic potion.
My job as president is to protect all Americans. So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this. United Airlines, Disney, Tyson's Food, and even Fox News. The bottom line, we're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated coworkers.
A lot of people don't understand basic civics. We have to know our rights. We have to understand what the role of the federal government is in our lives if we are to proceed in any type of meaningful way. It is not the government's number one job to protect us. I'm going to repeat that. A lot of people don't understand this. It is not the number one job of our government to protect us. And I said the reason why I say number one is of course the government's role through military, through regulation, through laws is to have a functioning society. And you could say that's to protect us. But that's not the number one role. It's not, or I could say it's not at any cost. We have a founding document that as of right now, I don't know if it's worthy enough for me to wipe my ass with it, but it's still here, the Constitution. So you can help citizens however you think. You can help citizens, you can protect citizens, but not if it's unconstitutional. It's not at any cost. Is that clear? Because some people have said this in the past, and then people bring up all these other, like, what are these laws? What's the military for? They're all to protect us and regulation and all that. It should not happen if it's unconstitutional. It has to fit within the frameworks. If it doesn't fit within the frameworks of our Constitution, this whole nation that we're in right now will crumble and fall down like an implosion of a skyscraper. If you don't have the Constitution, the government can say, the federal government can say, you know what? Those hot dogs aren't healthy for you. My family and I over Labor Day just made a nice, easy, usually we do burgers and whatever else and then hot dogs for the kids. We all did hot dogs. We don't eat hot dogs that often. The government could say, hey, those hot dogs aren't good for you. You can't eat them anymore. The government could say, climate change is a big problem. You're not listening to the science. You know what? We mandate no one else can drive anymore till we say so. There has to be a limit, and the limit is defined by the Constitution. Our government structure at the macro level, at the federal level, their roles in our lives is very simple. It's very easy.
Every man for himself. No police, no laws, no judges. And in the end, the strongest wins. But wait just a minute. What if the state enters the picture? If it's the only one to use violence, then it will ensure peace and security. That, at least, is what the philosopher Thomas Hobbes said in his book Leviathan back in the 17th century. Hobbes' Leviathan symbolised the power of the state. But this Leviathan has often abused its power. Rulers have oppressed their own people and used violence for personal gain. They've controlled administrations and police and imprisoned those who stood in their way. Oh, no. Government in the hands of the powerful, a combination that over the centuries has often led to oppression and death. The solution? Distribute the state's power. Lawmaking, governance, administration, the justice system. Every branch should operate independently and remain separate.
You have the executive branch, which is the president. Everything underneath him. The CDC is under him. All of these other government agencies are under the executive branch. Then you have the legislative branch. So right now, the executive branch is stepping up and saying, I need to do this. No different than, this is why when I look at like the eviction moratorium, I said I don't want anyone to be homeless, but it has to be handled in a constitutional manner. Because if you can do that unconstitutionally, then you can do anything unconstitutionally. And now here we are. This has to be handled in the courts. I just did a video on that. But I'm going to end with this. The legislative branch has become a complete clown show. It's not even a circus. Like, there's no elephants. There's no high wire acts. It's filled with nothing but clowns. It's filled with nothing but 435 clowns in the House and 100 in the Senate. When the executive branch goes crazy, the legislative branch is the first one, because the judicial branch takes forever. You're going to have to wait on that. That's a process. The judicial branch has checks and balances. They all have checks and balances over each other. The legislative branch in our country has crashed to a level that is more alarming than the executive. What's happened to the legislative branch, not approving military use, not holding the executive branch in check. When the executive branch does something unconstitutional, the legislative branch has to step up. And there's many ways they can step up. And during this time, where even if the legislative branch agrees with what the president's doing, they should step up and say, we're going to make sure that this returns, or these are the checks and balances that we have in place, regardless of party. So the legislative branch has become a complete clown show. What they do in Congress and the Senate, it's become one of the cushiest jobs out there. Especially the Senate. They're chilling. Get reelected, you're good for 6 years. All they're worried about is making money for the next election, because the next election will be won by dollars. So it's not about substance. So why would they stick their neck out and risk reelection? And I lied. I'm going to end with this. So what is the president's role? What would it sound like if what I would have respected from the executive branch in a moment like this, where this crisis is serious? Please don't mistake this for me to say that this is some fake thing or not. The situation we're in health-wise is very serious. And what I would have expected or respected from the executive branch is to say, there's millions of our citizens out there that don't trust us. That means I haven't been doing my job well enough. It's my job to earn the trust of all of them. It's the job of all of these non-elected leaders. I'm going to avoid saying their words because I have no idea what gets taken down or not anymore. Because I'm very heated at one. I might have to do an Odyssey video on this guy. Let's call him Dr. F.
But now is the time to do what you're told.
Joe Biden could have said, there's people of all different, there's people with PhDs that don't fully believe this. There are people who are in all these different identity groups. We're going to do a push in a nonpartisan way. I'm going to work with former President 45. I'm going to work with DeSantis. We're going to work together. And ultimately, it will be your decision. You talk to your doctor, your family, your friends. You listen to mainstream media. You go listen to all of your alternative sources. We trust you to make the right choice. You know what I'm announcing? I've worked with, we have our differences, but I've announced that we're working with Ron DeSantis. We're working with Greg Abbott. We're working with people that you might not think we would work together, because we agree on this and we want accurate information for you. Our job is to give you the information to make the right decision. That's not the message. Oh, he came with a different message.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
He came with that message like, we're tired of y'all. Who is we? Who's y'all? You might have to figure that out.
So take a moment. What are you grateful for today?
What am I grateful for? There's someone I follow on Twitter that posts the most beautiful pictures of outer space you will ever see. He goes by the tag of Space P, and it is unbelievable. I don't know why I'm fascinated by this. I look up to the stars and it's like, when are we going to go up there? I know it's dangerous. Radiation is like, are we supposed to go up there? Yeah, I think we are. We're supposed to risk it. Just like where we supposed to find America, where people supposed to explore. Yeah. And we will. But take a look at these pictures and tell me they're not beautiful. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care.